friends, and good morning. Happy Monday. I'm so happy to get to say hello to you all first thing today. Um, the irony of me hosting a morning show really should not be lost on anybody. So we're in the midst of this time change, right? So my body woke up at 8 o'clock this morning and I thought, isn't this just heaven? I have a whole hour before I have to be at work, or 7 o'clock, whatever time it was, because that never happens. Usually what happens is I hit the snooze alarm 7 times and then realize, oh, I have to be at work in 15 minutes. Run. And I did not have to do that this morning. I was here on time. Everybody got to take a deep breath. It was wonderful. If I had my druthers, the workday wouldn't start until 10 a.m. But some of you are early risers, and so I'm very glad that you all are here with me this morning. So we have some great stuff going on this week. First of all, today, there is a really special concert happening today at 6:30 p.m. We're going to be in the Muirfield Room. So you've probably seen the name of one of the musicians, Michael Lester, on the flyers. So if you don't remember, Michael joined us back in July as Johnny Steiner's piano player for the first concert of the choir. And he was so brilliant. I probably had 20 of you say, can he come? Can we get him to come? And I talked to him back in July, and he had this idea about putting together a special concert just for us. So there will be a trio of musicians tonight. They are playing a specially selected group of songs about autumn and about fall. And then there's also going to be some poetry in the middle there. And so I think it's just going to be a really fun and special night. And I hope that you will join us for that concert. Let me think. We're showing a documentary this afternoon, Descendant. Something that's sort of fun. So right now, since outdoor recreation, it's become a little too chilly, or at least it was supposed to become a little too chilly. Now we've got all these gorgeous days, but Mikey's leading indoor rec now, so you have time to do some ping pong and some cornhole. So I hope that you'll take advantage. There are 2 opportunities this week to come inside and do that. Tomorrow is election day, so we do have a voting shuttle running between 10 and 11:30. I know that some of you are going to want to be at the town hall meeting at 10 a.m. between 10 and 11. And if that's true, not to worry, just come on and join the voting shuttle at 11, and we'll run as many trips as we need to get those over to our polling location there at Riverside Elementary. So that's happening on Tuesday. Let me see. We've got some other things going on. Oh, Wowzitude is going to Vancouver, Canada. And I believe, I'm not sure, but I believe that the guide is the same as the person that we had when we went to Banff. And he was just a hoot and a half. Completely jolly, lots of good information. So I really hope that you will join in as we visit Vancouver, Canada. I really wish I could say, come and eat some poutine or something else. We're probably not going to do that. But I do want you to come and visit Vancouver with us. On Wednesday, we have a presentation from Ortho One. This is something that Ava has coordinated, and I know that the time is unusual. So the presentation is at noon on Wednesday of this week, and I know that that's difficult because we have some folks who are very traditional noon lunchers. I want to encourage you, and daylight savings helped, I think, if you needed to adjust your lunchtime a little just this coming Wednesday to attend that presentation and hear that good information. We are so blessed by speakers willing to come and share information with us. And sometimes, particularly the folks in the medical field, don't have as much flexibility in their schedules to do that. And so that's why that presentation is falling at that noon hour, which again, we know is not perfect, but we hope that many will take advantage of that. And I do believe we're going to do our best to record that if you're not able to be there. A couple of other things. Book club. So this week, the meeting of the book club is pretty special because they will be determining what they're going to be reading for the next year. And so if you want to be a part of that conversation, I hope that you'll go and join. My understanding is that all are welcome and encouraged to attend. Last but not least, this Friday, November 11th, Veterans Day, we're doing a special thing to celebrate Veterans Day. So we always do, we always have some kind of a celebration, and there's some music and there will be some refreshments, but also we have a speaker coming to join us, Pat Allen. So Pat works with the Veterans History Project with the Library of Congress. And so he is responsible in that role for meeting with veterans and then learning their stories and recording those stories so that future generations are not losing the rich experiences of our veterans from World War II and the Korean War and the Vietnam War. And so two of our folks here at the Friendship Village of Dublin will have already recorded their histories with Pat. And then Pat is also going to say, hey, we have a number of other veterans in this population. Perhaps you would be interested in being a part of this really special project. And I think that would be sort of cool. So we're going to hear from Pat on Friday. We are going to sing some of our service songs that we always do. We're going to recognize our veterans. We're going to enjoy that beautiful presentation that has the names and photos of our veterans. We're going to have some refreshments. That's going to be really lovely. That's on Friday afternoon. Let me think what else. Oh, I did want to tell you about the VST balance trainer. So there are going to be some balance assessments continuing into this week. I'm looking because I'm not remembering now if it looks like is it Tuesday, Thursday? Mikey's going to shake his head. Yes. So it's Tuesday, Thursday. And I decided that VST balance trainer might stand for Virtue Sense trainer, but instead we're going to say very steady tennis shoes. VST, very steady tennis shoes. Go and have the assessment. It will let you know if you're potentially at risk for a fall and make some recommendations of some things that you can do to feel a little bit more confident on your feet. We just hate to see it when somebody has a fall. So there's some prevention things in place, and we really hope you'll take advantage of those. Weather, because I'm clearly a fully qualified meteorologist. So let me just give you a little bit of a weather report here. So it's going to be lovely this week, and it's November, so I'm not sure what the deal is there. It got yucky and cold for a little bit in October, and now it's beautiful again. But it looks like lows throughout the week. We're going to be somewhere between 40 and 45 for the low, and then really kind of lovely in those mid-60s, mid-60s there. I hope that we have some glorious sunshine. Granted, it's going to end at 4:30 p.m. No, thank you. Daylight savings, great. But we'll enjoy it while it's here, and that'll be lovely. So really lovely week. Doesn't look like I'm gonna knock on this is wooden under the quilt, I promise. It looks like we're not going to see any rain until Friday, and I hope that's true. So get out and enjoy that beautiful walking path and all the fall weather. Let me think. Were there any other special things that I was supposed to tell you? No. Oh, I was going to tell you my joke. So this morning, I figured out a way to burn 800 calories before I even made it out of the house, and I wanted to tell you about this. So I decided I was going to get breakfast for my kids ready, so I preheated the oven, and last night's pizza was in there. Nope, nobody's laughing. Okay, I burnt it up. And what's actually funny about it is that I have done that 3 times in the last week. We decorated Halloween cookies. I burnt them up the next morning. My husband thought he was going to be really lovely and get donuts on Saturday, and I burnt them up trying to make lunch. So I think what we've learned in my house is that the oven is not a storage location. So we'll try that. We'll try to keep that in mind as we move through the week. So that's enough chitter chatter from me. I'm really excited. I have a wonderful guest this morning. Miss Beverly Francis is here. We're going to go over there in just a minute, and she's going to chat to us some about the needle workers and also this glorious exhibit that is happening all the way around me. What a joy to be in here this morning amongst all these bright colors and beautiful fiber arts works. So she's going to tell us a little bit about the history of that group, the brilliant things they're doing. Let's go over and say good morning to Beverly. Howdy, friend.
Well, hello.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good. I'm going to bring my notes. Okay. So you were going to talk to us a little bit about the Needle Workers Group and how they got started.
Well, it all got started for Bonnie Protz, and she couldn't be here today, so I am filling in to the best of my ability.
We are very grateful to you for filling in, so thank you.
And she moved here roughly 11 years ago and went to the arts coordinator at that time and said, can we have a Needle Workers Group? And the rest is history.
There you go. Absolutely. So tell me, the group meets regularly once a week.
We meet on Tuesdays from 9:30 to 10:30. It's very informal. People come and they do their own work. They do work for charity. And it's very free form.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. So, and who comes? Folks who just knit, folks who crochet, who comes to that group?
Mainly it's knitting and crocheting, but sometimes we stray a little bit into sewing. And when we look at the display here, we'll see a big variety of work that people have done on their own.
Okay.
So there's thread count embroidery, there's needlepoint, there is sewing and quilting and knit and crochet.
And this is my favorite thing about the group. Okay, so as you are knitting, crocheting, enjoying one another's company in that morning when that group meets, what else are they doing?
Well, it is not silent, I'll tell you that.
It's my favorite, greatest joy to walk in there when they all are meeting because they're having such great conversations and chatting and enjoying one another's company. I love it. I think it's great. So the needle workers actually invest quite a bit in charitable works. Can you tell us some of the things that they do?
Well, people who are members of the group, which is entirely informal, can donate their work wherever they want. And we have often given things to a group that used to be known as Touching Little Lives and recently has changed its name to Gifts for an Angel.
Okay.
And they are baby items for families in need.
Yeah.
So that's one. Another group is My Very Own Blanket, which takes quilts and blankets for kids in the foster care system. Another one is the Linus Project, which takes quilts and blankets for kids who have suffered trauma of some sort.
They win the prize for their organization's name.
Yes, they do.
Continue, yes.
And quite a bit of sewing is done for Dress a Girl Around the World.
I think
we'll see some of those.
If we're able to zoom a little bit up here, that's what these dresses are, yeah?
So these dresses are simple and bright, and they generally include a pocket. And they go to girls in places like Haiti and Africa, and I think some places in the U.S. as well.
Okay. Well, since we started looking at some of what's around, would you like to kind of zip us around and we'll just take a quick look at, I know we're not going to point out anybody specifically because we've got so many wonderful, beautiful works, but we can just kind of, if you haven't had a chance to see the exhibit, we can see it a little bit.
And it is the last day of the exhibit today.
Today is your last chance to see it. So if you've not done that.
We have some great quilts in the corner here that will go to My Very Own Blanket. This one is a row-by-row sampler. And we've got our dresses, bright colors, pockets, sturdy construction. This table on the flat here is items that have been knit and crocheted for charity. And on the wall behind, We have some wonderful batik scarves and thread count embroidery and a really bright and cheerful sunflower embroidery there. We've got some quilts here on the rack. There is a Sunflower Sue. And on the wall behind here is a weeping willow tree. This is very 19th century style. This quilt uses 1930s vintage style fabrics. I was just chatting with a resident who said her grandmother made a quilt very much like this. This one is Log Cabin, which is a very traditional pattern. And we've got some humorous fall season embroidery and an Uncle Sam here on the corner. And if we go around the bend here, we've got a sailboat quilt. Particularly if you look at one square, you can see the sail and the boat below. And we've got another log cabin here with a Christmas theme. This one is called Trip Around the World, and you can see the concentric circles. We've got some great thread count embroidery here, and typically the needleworker has a blank canvas and a separate piece of paper that shows the design, and so the embroiderer has to map out the whole design and transfer it to the canvas with the cross stitch. And we've got some islands in the Lake Erie here and a sailboat theme on this one. We've got some quilting work here, seasonal. We've got some Christmas placemats with a very jolly Santa. And this is a panel which has been turned into a quilt wall hanging. And in the corner here is one of my favorites. This is needlepoint work, and it is reproducing a painting by Renoir. So it's interesting how needlework can be so impressionistic. And we've got some Christmas work here. There's a very small detailed Christmas tree here with a lot of metallic thread, which is very festive. And a Christmas quilt. Here we have some very elaborate embroidery work. Here's a sampler. You can see the ABCs and a theme statement, a joyful heart is life itself. And this one back here has almost a lacy look because the embroiderer has pulled threads away, and it's very precise, very lovely work. Most of us can't imagine ever doing it. This is a special moment in our exhibit because Bonnie Protz has made a quilt for a silent auction with a Dr. Seuss theme. So surely people need to have a Dr. Seuss quilt in their life.
Absolutely, they do.
And the bidding is closing soon, I imagine.
Yes, so for folks who don't know, this particular quilt is being auctioned. There's a silent auction bid sheet right here. And so if you wish to have this quilt in your home or for one of your grandkiddos or your great-grandkiddos, today's the last day. We hope that you will come down and place a bid. The monies raised will go towards all of those not-for-profit and charitable works that Beverly chatted about just a minute ago. All of that brilliant stuff that the needleworkers do throughout the year, the monies raised from this quilt will go to support that work. So we hope that you will consider taking this home, that you will bid generously. Again, today's the last day to do that.
We have one more little section here that I must confess is mine. I have a 17-inch wide space beside the door to my apartment, and I fill it up with quilt objects. This particular one was in a magazine this year, so it was very exciting to have a quilt in a magazine. So I have 100% record on things being accepted in magazines because I've done it once.
That's awesome.
It's time to quit now.
And so Beverly asked me Friday, I'm going to embarrass her a little, maybe not. She asked me Friday, well, what should I wear? I should probably wear something solid so that I don't distract from what's going on in the gallery. And I said, no, I want you to wear that brilliant jacket. So you made this that you're wearing, right?
I did make this.
Yes. And tell us, the fabric that you use is special in some way, right?
Well, there's some batik on the edges. And I love polka dots, so we've got a lot of polka dots in here.
Absolutely.
And bright colors.
Yeah.
It's extremely cheerful for Monday morning.
It is incredibly cheerful for a Monday morning, yes. So friends, thank you so much, Beverly, for joining us. And we're so pleased to have an opportunity to share this exhibit. Again, if you haven't seen it, please do that. And to the needleworkers, just a great, huge hug and round of applause for the brilliant work that you all do. So fun to get to recognize that on a Monday morning.
Well, thank you.
Thank you,
My
thank
pleasure.
you, thank you. All righty, we'll pop back over here for just the quickest minute because I feel like I'm forgetting something. And on the way over here, I'll remember what it is. I know what I was going to tell you. There's one more really cool thing happening that I want to bring to your attention, and it's not happening this week. It's happening on Sunday, November 20th. So Fred Arzola, our chaplain, is going to be hosting an interfaith a trialogue, which is a word that I have never heard before, but I understand, a dialogue 2, trialogue 3. So we will have a rabbi from the Congregation Tifereth Israel and a leader from the Noor Islamic Cultural Center, and they will be joining Chaplain Fred in a conversational sermon about gratitude. And I know that many of you, I have the great joy of hearing your requests for speakers and for trips. And we've had a lot of requests recently for some interfaith trip opportunities, and we will absolutely pursue that. But here's a first step, something really cool happening that Fred's doing. I didn't want to forget to tell you about that. I think that's everything. I hope that you have the most glorious week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks again to Beverly for joining us. Have a great day.